What's up guys, welcome back to the video. In this one we're going to be learning about form in ReactJS. So let's get started. So a form is in ReactJS, it's kind of like to the HTML form which we learned before. So it is used to collect the user input and submit it to the server, and this is going to be letting us to provide management and stuff, so you can manage those data. And React provides since by the way, since we are using React, we can use hooks like the use state and use context and stuff. So it provides a way to manage the form state and handle form submissions using the React state and like the event handling features like the on click and so yeah. So let's go ahead and see an example. So let me go ahead and quit out of this. So these are the two apps we're going to be using today. So it's going to be our app and our filter and display. And of course I have my React app running over here. So if you guys see over app right here, so you guys can see here filter and display. So this thing I already want to create, so I want to create in our filter and display. So basically our example is going to be like whenever I type something, if the specific letter has that word or so, it's going to give us that specific thing as a suggestion, and if you click it, it's gonna be in our text box. And if you click on show picked a button basically, and it's basically gonna kind of like show the picked, and it's kind of like submit. So yeah, so let's go to start off. So first of all, let me actually start off by importing some stuff. So we're going to be importing the use state, and let's go ahead and do that. And now we are going to be having a functional component. So I guess I already had it in my clipboard. So there we go, filter and display. So now what I'm going to be doing is, first of all, we have to have some 4 of these variables. So I'm going to be having this as like predefined values, or you can say suggestion list, but I'm just going to name it predefined values. Or you can even put that, because that kind of makes sense. I'm actually going to change this, suggestion list. And the next thing I want is an array. So inside this area I'm going to provide some stuff. So this is going to be apple, and with B probably banana, and with C probably something like, I don't know exactly. So I'm just gonna put you can put whatever you want, but I'm just gonna put fruits that I know. So we can put that, and we can put watermelon in it, and we can put mango. And that's pretty much it. So we are going to be providing these ones, and it's gonna probably be in our suggestion. So let's go ahead and see that. And first of all, we need to use the use state. So we're gonna be using this 3 times. So I'm gonna be saying you guys why. So the first time we want is to store the input value and stuff. So let's go ahead and do input value. Set this gonna be input value. And this is going to be a blank string, or basically an empty string. And the next one, so we're going to be having a suggestion. So the reason why we are having a suggestion is because using this we can have set our suggestions and stuff, so that's why we need this. So we're going to be having suggestion, and since this is kind of like a suggestion, we want it to be in an array, because there are multiple of those, so that's why I'm putting that in an array. And the next thing is going to be basically our final one is going to be our pick value. So let's go to pick value, and this is going to be set picked value. And the next thing is use state, and this is also going to be an empty string. So it's an empty string, an array and an empty string, and be sure to declare this inside our functional component. So that's pretty much it. So now what we can be doing is, let's go ahead and create the 3 functions, or the 3 methods we need. So let's go ahead and start off with the first method. It's going to be like let's say handle input change. So basically whenever our input changes, this is going to be triggered, and let's go ahead and work with this. So change, and let's go ahead and define an arrow function. There we go. So now what we can be doing is under this, so these are the main things we need. So first of all, inside this arrow function you need e as an argument. So I mean you can put any, but I'm just gonna take e, so which is gonna be that. Actually, let me remove that extra one. So now what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be having a value which is going to be constant, and it's going to be value equals, and then e.target.value. And there we go. And after this, what we can be doing is we can click enter, and we can set the input value. So this is going to be our value which we already defined over here. So now this pretty much it about we're just basically setting the input value to that, but we're never finding the suggestions or so. So this place is going to be filtering our suggestions, filtering suggestions, and let's go into this. So now what we want is a constant with filter suggestions. So it's going to be having filter suggestions. So now we're going to be having suggestion list, which we already declared over here. It has the apple, banana, and stuff. So with that, and now we are going to be filtering these. So we are going to be filtering some of them. And now what we want to do is inside these parentheses, we want to have some amount of code. So first of all, we want to filter item and item dot to lowercase. So the reason why we're converting this to lowercase is because sometimes you may enter in a capital case, and so that's gonna kind of like cause a problem. So that's why we're gonna start off with the lowercase, and after this what we want is to have dot, and normally many people would just do includes, and you can do that too, but instead we're going to be doing start with. So this is a reacting or JavaScript thing too. So and this is basically just gonna say if it starts with that specific letter, it's gonna go do the specific thing over there or give that suggestion. And if you have includes, it's gonna, if I type A, it's gonna give me this, this, and basically all those because they contain A in it. So that's how include work, and that's how and this does start with work. So we're going to be using start with, and we're also going to be changing to include soon. So yeah. And now what we're going to be doing is we have our value defined over there, so we are going to be using that. So start with and value dot, and we are going to be doing two lowercase. And there we go. So that's pretty much it about there. So let's click enter. So now that's pretty much about full filtering suggestions. It's just gonna filter the suggestions. And by the way, we're not storing this in, like, I mean, we're still storing this, but we're not setting the suggestion. So for that you can do set suggestion, which we already have over here, and this is going to be having our filter suggestion. And there we go. So that's pretty much it about this handle input change. So I know we do have two amount of code. Many people would just think, why can't we put in one? But like we have our value and stuff, so we can just put it over there. So it really doesn't matter. And it reduces in like code. You have to create more and more functions. It's gonna reduce that too. So our second one is basically gonna just say handle. This is probably gonna be suggestion click maybe. So this one is gonna happen or trigger like whenever you click that suggestion. So till here is gonna display the suggestion. Everything is pretty normal. But like whenever it should work, like whenever you click the suggestion, it should appear in the box and stuff. So for that we can use this. So what I am going to be doing is I am going to be doing like this. So first of all, we have to set the input value to be the value which we pass soon. Let's go ahead and do this. And by the way, we don't have this value declared anywhere, so it's going to be a parameter over there. So it's going to be a parameter. And the next thing we need is, this is not necessary, but like this is kind of like important for some people, because like whenever you click that suggestion, the box or the suggestion box should disappear. It should not be there no longer. So for that, we can do set suggestion, and we can set it to a blank array. So kind of like getting it to the back to its state over here. So that's kind of like it. And that's pretty much about handle suggestion click, and it's one of the shortest one. It's like the top shortest one. And the next thing, or basically our next method or a function, is going to be, let's see, so it's going to be show picked value. So this thing is basically going to show our picked value, but if you don't want to show the picked value, you can just remove like this code for this, so you can just remove those. But since I want to see that too, I'm just gonna put it right here. So let's go do that. And this is our show pick value one. So in this, what we want is const and the picked value. So let's go ahead and see how we spelled it over here. So that one right there. And let's go ahead and do this over here. So pick value equals, and so here it's going to be suggestion list. Let's go ahead and do our suggestion list dot find, not filter, but we're going to be doing dot find over here, and we're going to be finding an item. There's going to be item dot lower to lowercase. So it's kind of like here we are kind of like checking. So here we're going to be using triple equals. So the reason why we're using is triple equals is basically it's going to check the type, and also if it matches, basically normal match. So you can also use double equals, but it's not going to check the type, so that's why we're going to be using the triple equals. And then we can have our input value, which we already declared, and that's going to be to lowercase too, because as I said, the case does matter, so that's why we are going to be doing that. And let's see, actually, okay, that we did it right. So let's go ahead and click enter. So that's pretty much it about pick value. So now that's not so if we want to set the pick value to be that one too, so we can just set pick value to be the pick value over there. So now that's gonna work. So this is our pick value over here. So the next thing is working on the side, like on the UI side, so it's gonna work. So we're going to be having our return statement, and under this we're going to be having some code. So before doing that, let's go and export this because we are going to be forgetting that always. So let's go and do export default, and it's going to be filter and display. And there we go. So let's go and see our output still here. So there we go, this is our output right here. So yeah, so let's go ahead and write our return statements and see our output, is it gonna work or not. So the first thing we need is an input element. So the reason why we're having this is because we want to enter some text so that we can see the suggestions and stuff. And we can, it's a good practice to define the type too, so I'm just gonna define the type to be text. And the next thing we want is, yeah, I'm gonna put the style too, but I'm gonna put that later. But so first of all, we need a value equals, and then I'm gonna set it to be the input value, which is basically our state over here, input value. And we are going to be having this not on click but on change. Basically, it's whenever it's gonna change, it's gonna call or something. So it's gonna invoke this handle input change over here, and there we go. So now we can perform the styling and stuff. So let's go ahead and see if it works. So yeah, that works, but we need it to be a bit better. So what we can do is we can go ahead and do the style, and we can do probably the font size, maybe font size to be 30 pixels. And let's go ahead and reload this, and now that's a lot better, so we can type and see at the same time. So if you want, we can also put it 35. I guess 35 is a good size. So yeah, that works. So that's pretty good size, I'll say. So here is going to be our suggestion, which we're going to be creating soon. So this works. We can type, it's our info basically. And now what we want is, that's pretty much it. If you want to add a background color, you could. So that works till here, the input, everything. So now let's go ahead and work with the suggestions. So now we, first of all, before going to the suggestions, we're going to be having a fragment real fast. So let's go ahead and have a fragment over there, and let's go ahead and align these. So we're going to be aligning all of those, and let's go ahead and align that there, and this also going to do the same thing. So there we go. So we just align all of them, and that's pretty much what we did over there. So now what we're going to be doing is we are going to be having our suggestions. So these suggestions are going to be kind of hard to understand, so I'm just going to put like suggestions over here. So first of all, we're going to be needing these curly braces, and you need suggestions. So let me actually go down a bit. So suggestion dot length, and we're going to be checking if it's greater than 0, and we're going to be having this logical operator, which is double n. So this double n is basically going to check if the left side expression, basically this expression, is true. It's going to perform this expression over here, so this expression over there. So inside this we can have our unordered list. So this unordered list is basically, it's kind of like the li thing we use. So yeah, so first of all, unordered list is gonna come like dot and stuff, so we don't want those to appear. So let's gonna style for this real fast. So we are going to be setting the list style type, and let's go ahead and do list style type. This is going to be none over here. And also sometimes it's not going to be aligned perfectly at the place, so what we can do is we can do, let's go and actually do comma padding, and this padding is going to be set to 0, and the margin also is going to be set to 0, so that it's going to be appearing better way, I'd say. So now let's go ahead and do this. So now under this, what we want is this thing is kind of hard to understand. This part till here is kind of understandable. Like this part is, except this part, it's kind of easy to understand, like the style type, everything. But this part is where many people just mess this up. So what you have to do is you have to have suggestion dot map, and these are the two things you need to do. So you can have item and index. So the reason this index is basically going to be our key, and this is where we are going to be having an on click, so we have to pass something. So I'll show you. Right here we have to pass something. So this is what we are going to be linking, by the way, or on click. So let's go ahead and do this. So now let's go ahead and actually have the specific amount of braces for this. So we need this like this, and there we go. So now we need an arrow function, and this is going to be having something like that, and there we go. So that's how you can do that. So now we're going to be having an li. So inside this, we are going to be doing some stuff. So first of all, the first thing inside this li we need is our key. So the reason why we have to have a key is because having a key is a good practice because you can like access some stuff using this key. So we do need to have a key. And now we're going to be having an on click, of course, because that's how you can like trigger this. Is gonna be triggered this handle suggestion click, because this is where if you click that's gonna happen. And we're going to be having on click over here. And before doing that, we have to cover this in an arrow function, basically binding. And let's go ahead and do this, and there we go. So we are using a handle suggestion click. So that's not it, because we also need basically a parameter, which is our value. So let's go ahead and pass in here. So this is going to be value over there. So that's pretty much it. And actually it's not going to be value, it's going to be the item which we declared. And the next thing we want is over here. We have to have the item so that we can display those stuff and we can see them. So that's pretty much about this suggestion. So if you want, you guys can replay the video, but yeah. And now what we want to be doing is I guess that's it. Let's go ahead and see our output. So let's go ahead and reload this. And let's see, okay, that works. So let's go ahead and actually style this first of all, because it doesn't look that great because you guys cannot even see. So let's go ahead and have our style. So in this style, I'm going to be providing a background color. And the bad thing about this is you cannot specifically select a color, I guess. So yeah, I'm just going to put it to be gray. And the next thing is you can also put like the font size because it's really small. So you can put the font size. So actually it's gonna be font size there. And let's remove this. And this font size is probably going to be 30 pixels, or actually 28 maybe. 28 pixels, and this is going to be in a string. There we go. So let's go and reload this. So that's a lot better. So that's our suggestion. So let's also actually set our width, because the background color is going fully covering. So we don't want it to happen like that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting it to probably like, maybe it's 450 pixels. So let's reload this. And let me type A. Okay, it's gonna be probably 430, maybe 430, and that should work, I guess. So okay, so yeah, we can probably, it's gonna be 435 or so, but we can change it. So 437 should be good. So let's reload this, and yeah, that's a lot better. So that's pretty much it about this thing. So if we type A, we can click it and it's gonna fill that over there. Apple, that works. So but till here that works, which is the main part, which is very the one of the hardest part. And the second easiest, one of the easiest part is gonna barely take like 5 minutes or so, or 3 minutes. This is the easiest part, basically the show pick value. So let's go ahead and work with that. So we ended over here. Okay, so over here what we want is, first of all, we have to have a button. So let's go ahead and create a button right here, and this is just gonna say show pick. It's gonna be show pick value over there. So let's go ahead and show the pick value. So this thing is basically gonna be showing the pick value, and whenever you on click, let's go ahead and do on click over here. And this is just gonna be triggering, let's see, what's this? Alright, show pick value. So we're gonna be putting in that, and now basically we need a specific place so that it can show, right? So we're gonna be having probably an h2 tag maybe, and we are going to be saying the pick value over here. And this is where it's going to display our pick value. So pick value is going to be the pick value, which is this over there. So let's reload this. So there we go, our button works. So if you want, you can install this and stuff. So I'm just gonna provide a BR tag, and let's see. Okay, that works. So it's in another line. So let's go and zoom this if you guys cannot see. So let me actually remove that console. So if I type Apple, so it gone down there. It really doesn't matter about that. But like if I click this Apple, and now if I click on show pick value, so that works. It's coming as Apple. So if I type banana, show pick value, so that's how it works. So that's pretty much it. So if I click there, and it works the same too. and I can type any other one. So let's go ahead and see. I can also directly do this over here too, and that works too. So yeah, and if you guys remember, I said right over here, so we're gonna be using suggestion something over here. So yeah, so let's go ahead and remove this, and let's go ahead and reload this over here. So this part, let's go ahead and type Apple over here. So see that that thing is not even going away, so it's still over there. So we have to click on shift pick value, reload this page so that it goes away. So that's why we use the set suggestion over there. So I said I'm just gonna remove it and try it again. So yeah, that's why I did that. So yeah, now if I click this, that's gonna work back again. So that's pretty much it about this forms in React.js. I know it's kind of like a long video, but like it's important. So that's it for today's video. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.